inter-district control in Sabah effective Saturday. Government to seek detail of a U.S. ban on FGV import. Hello and good evening. Thanks for joining us. You're watching News at 10 with me, Mohammed Amin Carlos. Well, a 2-week-long inter-district movement control order MCO directive will be imposed throughout Sabah beginning midnight on Saturday. Senior Minister for Security, Dato Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, said the decision was made during the special cabinet meeting today. Well, in a statement, he said the inter-district MCO in Sabah, which will run from midnight 3rd October until 16 October, would allow for essential services related to food, medical supplies, security and others to crisscross districts. While throughout the period, Dato Seri Ismail Sabri said those who are currently placed under quarantine and have ended their quarantine period are allowed to return to their districts or return back to the Peninsula, Sarawak or Labuan. However, he added that the targeted Enhanced Movement Control Order TEMCO period placed under the 4 districts of Tawau, Lahad Datu, Kunak and Semporna, which were announced prior to this, will continue to be enforced as usual. The senior minister said any restrictions or any latest information about the matter will be updated to the public by the Sabah government. A total of 260 new COVID-19 positive cases were recorded today, making it the second highest tally in the country since 277 cases were reported on June 4th. More worrying, Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said only 1 of the new cases was imported, while the others of 259 were local transmissions involving 130 Malaysians and 129 foreigners.
Daripada 259 kes tersebut, sebanyak 31 kes mempunyai sejarah perjalanan ke Sabah. Ini menjadikan jumlah kes dilaporkan mempunyai sejarah perjalanan ke Sabah sejak 20 September 2020 adalah sebanyak 119 kes.
With the 260 new cases, he said the cumulative total is now 11,484, with 1,334 active cases. In detailing the breakdown of the locally transmitted cases today, he said Sabah continued to record the highest number with 118, followed by Kedah, 98 cases, Selangor and Kuala Lumpur, 13 each, Johor and Putrajaya, 5 each, Terengganu and Perlis, 2 each, Melaka, Pahang and Penang, 1 each. The one imported case today was in Kuala Lumpur and it involved a foreigner returning from the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, there were 47 recoveries reported today, bringing the cumulative total recoveries to 10,014 cases, or 87.2% of the total number of cases. There are currently 20 patients being treated in the intensive care unit, with 3 needing ventilator support. No fatalities were recorded today, with the death toll remaining at 136. Well, meanwhile, Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham said 4 new COVID-19 clusters, the Jalan Baru cluster in Selangor, Juhua cluster in Sabah, Selassie cluster in Putrajaya and Bakatil cluster in Kedah have been detected in the country. He added that the cluster with the most cases is the Bakatil cluster, with 9 people infected, following by the Selassie cluster with 7 cases, the Juhua cluster with 5 cases. The last new cluster is the Meru cluster in Klang with 3 cases.
Kluster Jalan Meru Selangor, iaitu kluster baru ni telah dikenal pasti di Kelang, Selangor. Kes indeks kluster ni iaitu kes 11,148 adalah seorang lelaki warga negara Malaysia berumur 30 tahun. Kes mula bergejala pada 24 September 2020 dan saringan COVID-19 dikesan positif pada 29 September 2020 dan kes telah dimasukkan ke Hospital Sungai Buloh.
Following that, the Health Director General said close contact screening was conducted and 3 other positive COVID-19 cases involving locals were recorded for the cluster. Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin today agreed to put all Bumiputra-related affairs under the purview of the Prime Minister's department, with the Prime Minister himself as the minister in charge. Well, he said this in response to one of the resolutions passed at the 1965-2020 Bumiputra Economic Congress, KEB.
Kita tak boleh lagi berada di takuk yang lama, dan kita perlu mengharungi norma baru ini, apatah lagi dalam keadaan ekonomi yang semakin mencabar susulan daripada wabak COVID-19. Saudara dan saudari yang saya kasihi sekalian, ini selepas hampir 50 tahun sejak DEB diperkenalkan, komitmen kerajaan masih teguh. Dan saya nak sebutkan komitmen kerajaan Perikatan Nasional tentu lebih teguh daripada teguh terhadap usaha untuk melaksanakan agenda Bumiputranya.
Speaking at the closing of the Congress at Wisma MPM in Kuala Lumpur today, Tan Sri Muhyiddin said despite the many strategies and programs to uplift the Bumiputra community, they continue to lag behind the other races. To overcome this, he said the Bumiputra community must keep abreast of global economic developments, including developing a positive ecosystem which is more competitive. The Human Resources Ministry will seek detailed information on the alleged use of forced labor by plantation company FGV Holdings Berhad, or FGV, in its production process. Minister Datuk Seri M. Saravanan said thorough investigation will be carried out before any action is taken.
The main reason I was rushing into Octa 446 was to overcome and eliminate all these. But meanwhile, what I was told, Pelda is now, then another big firm will be soon. Okay?
Another what?
There's another big firm will be banned soon.
Oh,
That's what.
Which one?
This is what I was told. Okay?
Do you know which one?
Of course I know, but it's not. Another the biggest plantation sector, because at the moment the country is depending very much on our export, especially palm oil and all this, to increase our revenue, and it's not a good sign for the country.
It was reported that the United States has banned the import of palm oil from FGV Holdings over allegation that it used forced labor in the production process. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) agency on Wednesday said the ban was the result of a year-long investigation that revealed signs of forced labor, such as abuse of the vulnerable, deception, physical and sexual violence, intimidation and threats, and retention of identity documents. Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Saravanan said he had also received information that another large company in Malaysia will face similar action by the U.S. Well, meanwhile, FGV Holdings Berhad has expressed its disappointment on CBP's decision to detain palm oil and palm oil products made by FGV, its subsidiaries and joint ventures. FGV, in a statement today, said it has been taking concrete steps over the past several years in demonstrating its commitment to respect human rights and uphold labor standards. It also said it's also a participating company in the Washington-based Fair Labor Association, or FLA, and currently implementing a long-term and comprehensive action plan that comprises a number of initiatives to further strengthen various aspects of labor practices. While FGV's action plan for 2020 was adopted on 31st March 2020 in consultation with the FLA and various stakeholders, including civil society organizations. Now, FGV is confident that it is on the right track to accomplish the action items due to be completed by the end of 2020. In the meantime, FGV said it will continue to engage with CBP to clear its name and is determined to see through its commitment to respect human rights and uphold labor standards. Coming up, police initiate probe into Hizb ut-Tahrir Malaysia movement. Well, the Johor police have initiated investigations against the Hizbut Tahrir Malaysia or HTM movement after receiving 17 reports on claims that its ideology is in conflict with the Sunni denomination that is practiced in the country. Now, Johor Police Chief Dato' Ayub Khan Maidin Pichai said investigation papers have been opened and a detailed probe will be carried out against the group that has allegedly labelled the government as infidels.
He also said that action can be taken against followers of HTM under the Security Offences for Special Measures Act 2012 or SOSMA if they are found to have crossed the line of national security and public order.
Hizbut Tahrir ini kalau tengok dekat KL pun aktif. Ada lebih kurang 4 ke 5 negeri telah pun memfatwakan Hizbut Tahrir sebagai sesat, tuan-tuan, iaitu Selangor, Negeri Sembilan, Pahang, KL, Sabah. Pulau Pinang belum diwatakan lagi.
Speaking at a press conference at Johor Police Headquarters today, Dato' Ayub revealed that HTM members in the country were made out of academics, lecturers and also businessmen. He said investigations found that the movement now has 80 active members throughout Johor. According to him, HTM started to operate in Johor since September 2005 with their operational base at a house in Skudai. The house in question is believed to be a meeting place for Johor HTM members called the Khalifa Center.
Well, Chief Secretary to the Government of KSN, Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali, will convene a meeting with the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, in regard to the allegation of leakage of government procurement involving civil servants. Well, he said the matter must be addressed immediately for fear that it will slow down the economic recovery process, especially now that the country is still facing the threats of COVID-19. Well, apart from that, he said Malaysia had received various international recognitions in handling COVID-19, including being ranked 4th among 184 countries in the Global COVID-19 Recovery Index, and as of August 2020, and 5th among 23 countries in the Toluna Black Box Index for Perception and Crisis Management. While speaking at the opening of the new Terengganu MACC complex at Bandar Baru Bukit Besar in Kuala Terengganu today, Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki said those recognitions proved the determination and commitment of civil servants in translating all the government strategies such as Penjana and Prihatin initiatives. However, he said immediate post-COVID-19 initiatives such as the implementation of high-impact projects and the distribution of aid to the people will certainly be hampered if there are issues of corruption among civil servants themselves. The MACC has completed the investigation papers on the 2015 property scam in Melbourne, Australia, involving a senior officer of Majlis Amanah Rakyat, Omara, who is also a former politician. And according to MACC Chief Commissioner Dato' Sri Azam Baki, the prosecution of 2 or 3 individuals involved is expected to be done in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Kes Hartanah Mara ni kita dah siap siasatan, cuma pihak Timbalan Pendawa Raya sedang meneliti kes berkenaan dan sekiranya dipersetujui akan ada yang dituduh di mahkamah.
When met by reporters after the opening of the new Terengganu MACC complex at Bandar Baru Bukit Besar in Kuala Terengganu today, Dato' Sri Azam said the MACC had also opened 27 investigation papers on corruption during the Sabah state election last Saturday.
The Federal Territories Ministry will be issuing a request for proposals or RFP for the Putrajaya Monorail project in 3 more months, at the latest to enable the project to be continued with the cooperation of the private sector. Well, during a media conference in Putrajaya today, its Minister Tan Sri Anwar Musa said several companies had expressed their desire to develop the project and some had made presentations to the Ministry Secretary General, Dato' Rosida Jaafar.
Biarlah pihak yang akan mencadangkan nanti mengemukakan kos mereka kerana ada option yang berbeza-beza, ya. Pertama, dari segi teknologi lokomotif yang nak digunakan, ada berbagai-bagai teknologi yang boleh mereka syorkan. Cuma dari segi tracknya telah pun ditetapkan, jajaran telah ditetapkan, terowong telah pun dibina. Dan sekarang ini kos akan banyak ditentukan oleh kaedah pelaksanaan dan juga teknologi yang bakal mereka pilih nanti.
In April, Putrajaya Corporation PPJ confirmed that the Putrajaya monorail project would be continued after being postponed since 2004. According to media reports, there were 2 lines in the original plan, a 12-kilometer line with 17 stations and a 6-kilometer line with 6 stations. Tan Sri Anwar said the alignment of the monorail had been decided based on the basic infrastructure such as tunnel and bridge, which had been constructed before the project was put off in mid-2004. Asked whether the alignment stipulated also encompassed the area around Putrajaya such as Cyberjaya, Bangi and Kajang, he said the monorail project only involved the area under PPJ.
Well, Google has unveiled 2 new smartphones with 5G wireless capabilities under its Pixel brand, which showcases the Android mobile system. Now, the new Pixel 5 and its reduced Pixel, priced of 4A with 5G, are set to be available from 15 October in the US and other markets. Now, at a stream event, the California tech giant announced that the new Pixel 5 will start at $699 for US customers, and its reduced price Pixel 4A with 5G is set at $499. Well, Google Vice President Brian Rakowski said the new handsets are packing more helpful Google features into phones backed by the power and speeds of 5G. Now, the announcement puts Google for the moment ahead of Apple in the 5G smartphone race, with the 5G iPhone widely expected to be unveiled in the coming weeks. Google's Pixel handsets have won positive reviews for their powerful cameras and integrated artificial intelligence, but have failed to crack the top ranks of the smartphone market, dominated by the likes of South Korea's Samsung, Apple and China's Huawei. At launching event, the company also announced a ramped-up version of its Google TV platform and a new Nest Audio smart speaker, which was upgraded to be 75% louder and has 50% stronger bass than its original smart speaker with the Google Home brand. This evening's news at 10. And our top story, inter-district control in Sabah, effective Saturday. Well, folks, do join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Mohammed Amin Carlos, and do stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM, and we hope you have a pleasant evening.